First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
First things first. First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show is called First Things First. My first thing every day, especially today, giving thanks, giving praises, asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's get going. Okay, so this is what we do around here. If you're new to the joint, we welcome you. Hour one, we usually look at local stuff, what's going on the left coast. Hour two, we go national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive with a person or a hot topic, something like that. And today it's not like that at all because it is election season and there's a lot going on. You'll meet some folks that want to be judges. We'll hear from Congresswoman Katie Porter, who is seeking your vote for Senate, U.S. Senate. And we're going to hear about a little bit about Black labor history, as this is our bonus day of Black History Month. Only get that every 4 years on leap year. Happy leap year, bonus Black history, extra day in your life that we are very thankful for. It is the 29th of February, which usually has 28 days. So we got a lot going on, and it's not a Wealth Building Wednesday, and Black History Month is almost over. But as you know, around here, every day we're building generational wealth as much as humanly possible, and every month is Black History Month. That's why you're part of this KBLA delegation, right? Right. Okay, so look, you can call me anytime, 800-920-1580. You can join us on YouTube at KBLA 1580. Please like, follow, and subscribe. And if you're clicking around YouTube, you can go to DiPrima Radio, which is my channel. And please subscribe. We don't take our eye off the ball at all. And we are doing a little money conversation. We're doing a little wealth building conversation. We talk so much on this show about gentrification and how housing is overpriced and out of reach for most folks. In fact, one of the candidates for city council was talking about it with us only yesterday. And we are looking for ways to get you in so that we don't have to be pushed out. I'm being joined in studio this morning by a senior loan consultant with something called the New American Funding. And we are being joined by phone by the information officer for Marketing and Communications Division at the California Housing Finance Agency. If you didn't know about it, now you do. Shona Clark, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for inviting us.
And Eric Johnson, glad you could join us.
It's great to be here this morning. Well, not here, but here remotely and with you in the studio.
Right, you're here in spirit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what it is that you are up to. Dream for All, which is a California program, down payment assistance for first-time California home buyers. And you want to break it down, Shonta Clark?
Well, I think Eric was going to talk more about the program. So right now we have a Black initiative, or let's just say an initiative for California, and it's called a California Dream Program. It is a lottery that's coming up, and a lot of people are asking about it. But I tell people that, Cal Halfa has multiple programs. It's not just this one program. So they currently have two programs available right now, the My Home and the ZIP program. So you don't have to wait for a lottery. So that's just one program that a lot of the loan officers do. Me at New American Funding, Shona Clark, MLS 453545. It's important that you know that these down payment assistance have been around for a while. It's just some of us are not reaching out. They don't know, but now you know. City of Los Angeles have down payment assistance. I'm one of the lenders for that one, and we give over 161 grand, and we have that funds now, right now, people. Eric, you want to touch on the Cal Halfa Dream Program more?
I sure do. But first, I want to, since this is the last day of official Black History Month, I wanted to give a shout out to one of my favorite authors, N.K. Jemisin, African American woman who wrote a book called How Long Till Black Future Month. And it's a collection of really great short stories that address that issue. It's a really wonderful book. But talking about the Dream for All program, it's kind of an innovative program that really is built to address the generational wealth that you were talking about earlier, Dominique. It's a program that is designed for folks whose parents haven't been able to tap into the wealth that house building can make. I mean, one of the whole points of having a house of your own is so that you can pass that on as an asset to your kids or even to your grandkids. And the Black community has historically been shut out by discrimination, by racism, by government policies, by private industry policies. And so the homeownership rate among the Black community is much lower than it is among every other ethnic group. And this program is going to try to fix a little bit of that in a little corner of the world, California. And how it works is you find yourself a house, and the California Housing Finance Agency will give you a loan of 20% of the purchase price for a down payment. Most programs will give you 3%, maybe 5%, but this is 20% of the price of the home as a down payment to help you out with that. So then you live in the home, have a wonderful time, raise your family. And then when it's time to sell or refinance the home, when the home has gone up in price, instead of getting 100% of that, that's called the appreciation in the value of the home. The California Housing Finance Agency will take 20% of that, and then we'll use that money to fund the next generation, the next round of home buyers. So just in a quick little example, say you buy a home for $500,000, and it still feels insane just using that number as an example. But say you buy a home for $500,000, and then later on you sell it for $600,000. That means that the home is appreciated in value by $100,000. So we've given you a loan of $100,000, which is 20% of $500,000. So then you pay back that $100,000 plus $20,000 of the appreciation that you made. It can be a little bit complicated. Really, the best thing to do is get in touch with one of our approved lenders. Shona Clark, who's here with us today, is a really shining example of someone who has dedicated her business life to serving the Black community and making sure that folks get a good deal. I know that there is still some distrust about home loans after the Great Recession, and a lot of people got the short end of the stick through fraud and no fault of their own. And there is still a lot of distrust, but working with someone like Shonta can hopefully lay some of those.
Okay, so let me break this down into bite-sized chunks, because that's what I do. Okay, so that
was not bite-sized. I apologize.
No, but it was interesting. But I just have to, with both of the things that you said, just circle back and make sure that we are clear for the KBLA delegation, because I know people are really interested in this. So you're talking about a home loan that provides a down payment, but you're not making payments on it until you sell the home. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's correct. So a little bit more of a breakdown. Say you buy a home for $500,000. We will loan you a down payment of $100,000. So instead of making a payment of your first mortgage on $500,000, you're making payments
Right.
on
I mean, that's the
$400,000.
traditional thing. Back in the day, you had to have 20% down to buy a house.
Correct.
And when you talk about the Great Recession and mistrust, part of what happened is not just fraud. People got these shady loans where there was no down payment, or you state your own income, and people just got into a house that they really couldn't afford. Or if you were like me, you got one of those adjustable mortgages, actually had a decent mortgage, and then refinanced. And then the Great Recession hit, and now you're like, oh, my mortgage just went up, and now I can't afford it. What do I do? So people got into all kinds of situations. So, but in the old days, you had to put 20% down, and so this is bringing us back to being able to do that, which, as you say, gives you a lower payment. Just that most people can't save up 20% of $500,000, which is actually considered quite affordable for a home in Southern California these days. So what you're saying is that's delayed until you sell, and then you would pay it back then plus the 20% of the appreciation.
That's exactly it.
And I mean, how tough is it to qualify for this? Because, and Shonta, I'm sure you can talk more about this too. Credit is always, not always, but often, can be a barrier.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I think Shonta, you take that away.
Yeah. So with credit, which we all know, some people have credit problems, some people have no credit. So what we're trying to do is get people aware of this initiative so they can start getting credit ready before the program is released in April. Most people are asking me about home buyer classes. So on March 16th, we're doing 2 classes, one at HPP Cares. That's in Long Beach, HPP Cares. So you can call, and that's our HUD-approved class. And we're trying to fill up, so just try to call right away. And then West Angeles CDC, which is Community Development, which is right down the street on Crenshaw, they're having a class the same day. So when people ask me, like, how can I see you? How can we talk? Couple things. We have a direct number that people have been calling me, but I tell people try to do the class first, because the 8-hour HUD approved class will run your credit, go through a one-on-one with you, get you ready. At the same time, they'll say, Shonta, she's ready, or he's ready. But it's important that you all know, even though we're pushing Black Initiative and we've been pushing these programs, we have more other people that would apply right away, because for some reason we're not jumping for it. We're scared, like you said. We're thinking we're going to get in a bad loan, but why not come to a HUD class, sit down, see if it's something you want to do? And there's more than one program you can apply for. Like, we're pushing this one and letting everyone know there's a lottery, but there is, the city of LA has plenty of money. It had not ran out of money. And the sad thing about it is, for some reason, we got negative people around us saying there's no program. There is a program. So I'm letting everyone know there is a program. And you can call New American Funding, get me in the Inglewood office. I'm right here on Manchester and Crenshaw, 310-409-2149. 310-409-2149, or you can sign up right away to the HUD-approved classes, get the information. I'm going to be there March 16th, 2 classes, and let's fill up. Let's make our dream come true, you all, because for some reason we're not getting this information, or for some reason we're just scared. I don't know what it is, but
I think it's probably both. I mean, I've had a lot of conversations about this on this show and just in these streets, because people think, for some reason, they think I've been knowing things. And so, we'll talk about it when we come forward. How do you access these resources? How should you even find out? And I also think, to your point, Shonta, some of it is being able to distinguish between a scam and an opportunity. Both are out there, aplenty. 800-920-1580 if you have a question, or this is something you've been trying to figure out for yourself. We've got some answers for you. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, I have a secret. I use Secret Whole Body Deodorant because more than just my armpits stink.
Oh, can I use it where my bra rubs under my...
Oh, yeah.
And what about down there? You know, my...
Totally. 4 out of 5 gynecologists would recommend it. So I tried it, and now I get 72 hours of freshness. From my pits to my...
Ooh, I love that it's a spray.
Me too. And it comes in sticks and creams too. Go get your Secret Whole Body Deodorant.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Race, culture wars, political turf battles, criminal justice and injustice, the courts. These are the conversations you won't hear elsewhere. My guests are leading journalists, celebrities, and sports figures, elected leaders, and influencers. They aren't afraid to get into it and say the quiet part out loud. With Ariva Martin in real time, your commute just became the most engaging part of your day. Tune in weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. or find us on YouTube. Ariva Martin in real time, when you want it straight, no chaser.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
I can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, we're talking money, we're talking generational wealth, but really the bottom line is housing, because that, if you're in the state of California, you know that's like finding a unicorn, right? Getting a home that you can get into, and that is affordable, but also desirable. In fact, it's interesting. We had a meeting with the mayor of Los Angeles. It was hosted by, organized by Black Lives Matter LA, along with a coalition of about 20 other groups. And one of the questions that came up was a young woman was talking about how she had seen somewhere on television that that there's a proposal for immigrants to get down payments for houses. And she was very concerned, not because she hates immigrants, but because, like we're starting to hear more and more, Black Americans feel like we've been here. 12 generations of our families worked with no pay, and we are always on the bottom of every list. And, you know, the conversation was, okay, well, that's a proposal. It may happen, it may not. It's unlikely in a low budget year. But it sounds like what you're saying, Shonta, is that there's a lot of programs that are already available for whoever applies, and people just don't know about them.
Yes, but most of these programs do want you to be American citizens or have a residence card. So that's why what I do tell people is we're having just more talks about what programs can help us, but some of these city and state programs, they're audited. So you have to be American citizens. You have to have a resident card. But the funny thing, like you said, they're African Americans that's been here all their lives, but they're not trying. Nothing beats a failure but a try. But nobody can tell you not to get home ownership. But if you're not even getting the education to know how to get there, how do you expect to make it?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's I get it, because when I bought my house, which was a long, long time ago, that's exactly how I felt. I can't afford it. I won't be able to get a down payment. This is overwhelming. Never mind. I just happened to, meet a great realtor, and I forced myself to read the business pages every day. That's what I did. I forced myself to become financially a little bit more literate. Eric Johnson, you talk about, we were talking about how people don't know, and there's this knowledge gap in our community. the California Housing Finance Agency, as much as I force myself to read the business pages, start reading business books, and get all these experts in here so I can educate myself. I've never heard of that. What do y'all do?
That's, we hear that. Unfortunately, we're a government agency, so we don't have a huge advertising budget to spend on billboards, and so we really rely on community outreach like this to get our message around. So I really appreciate you having us as guests this morning on your show, Dominique. What I think what's really important, and Shonta touched on it, is housing counseling. And as you say, some people are scared. Some people are worried, oh, I can't do this. My finances aren't going to work. But there's a lot of people who are mortgage ready, and they don't even know it.
Yes.
They are making good money. They do have a steady job. And that's what this program is all about, to help the folks who, even if you haven't saved up, $50,000, $60,000, hell, I wish I had $100,000 in my bank account.
Yo.
Then, this is a program that can still make it work. And talking to one of these approved housing counselors, housing counseling is free. I think that's really important to know. It's, it can be an 8-hour course, but it's free. And you can find housing counselors. There's a whole list of them on our website at collegehfa.ca.gov.
Okay, you have to say that a little slower.
Yeah, it's calhfa.ca.gov. And we have a whole list of housing counselors that are all over. We've got a lot of places in Los Angeles, Orange County, up into Ventura, that offer these housing counseling classes, so you can make sure your finances are in order, get some confidence in where you are with your economic situation, and then realize, hey, maybe this dream can come true after all. So going from that, the Housing Finance Agency, we've been around since 1975, when Governor Brown was doing his first term of office. And our sole mission is to help people with down payment and closing cost assistance so they can buy their first homes. We've helped more than 150,000 people in California buy their first home. And it's so important. Homeownership is the best way to transfer wealth down from generation to generation, and Black wealth is it's lagging far behind.
Yeah, and that's
Latino, Asian, the whole 9 yards.
And whenever we say that, I have to point out that the big part of that is racism, right? Because we get to this,
Definitely.
well, we're cursed, or we're just not good at it, or whatever the thing is. It was actually in contracts, housing covenants, where you were not allowed to buy. We had property taken from us. Bruce's Beach is just one example. You look at the 10 freeway, that was a whole bunch of Black communities. They just took them from eminent domain. And those houses were, removed from Black families. And on and on and on. I could make a long list. I'm always going to say that, because even though those gaps are real, I think it's so important for us to understand why they are real, so we don't just blame ourselves. Never mind racism. I remember my neighbor, may she rest in peace, she told me she passed for white when she bought her house, and was able to get in because we weren't allowed to live, in on this side of Crenshaw back then. She passed for white, bought her house, and then brought her whole Black family to the house. And she said everybody freaked out on the block, but she had been there ever since, bought her home in the 50s. And, so there's reasons for that gap. It's good to know that these programs exist. I had worked with an agency called LA Neighborhood Housing Services that does offer some things like budgeting and housing counseling for free, but some of them aren't free. Some of them are just low cost, right?
Yes. They run anywhere from $69 and $99. Even the one online for Cal Halfa right now, you'll pay that $99 fee. Keep in mind, the only difference is you're just doing it at your own pace online, opposed to being in front of a classroom. So it's up to you. I know we went through COVID. Some people don't want.
I'm laughing because y'all need to just go to the class, because you're going to have questions.
Yes.
And if you're like me, you may not finish that online. You might start it and be like, oh, I'll get back to it.
Right.
Wait, what's on Netflix? So you said March 16th.
March 16th, HPP Cares has theirs. They're getting booked up, so please call in right away. And then West Angeles Community Development, which is right down the street on Crenshaw, they have theirs the same day. So any one of them, these are the two that we're trying to at least fill up. Like you mentioned, NHS is great too. I don't know what their day is that they're going to have it. These are two that just contacted me and said, listen, we're doing this. We're pushing the Black Initiative.
Yeah, I just like NHS because I know it. Of course, West Angeles does a lot of great stuff. But I'm just saying there are opportunities out there. Sometimes we don't know about them. I know when I tell my friends about LANHS, which is a nonprofit, most of them have never even heard of it. And they do have some good information. I was not really wanting to take that budget class, but it ended up being really helpful. How would we connect with the March 16th opportunities?
You can go online or the HUD, or like I said, if you give me a call, 310-409-2149, I'll send you the list of the HUD 8-hour classes. There's more than just those two. There's 15 of them that cover the whole city and the county of LA. So I'll send those to whoever want to at least take the class, get the opportunity. It's just those two classes. I want to be there, and any questions they have regarding the dream.
Okay.
Just making sure, because some people, they won't qualify for that lottery.
Right.
So then they say, what's next, Shonta?
What other opportunities do I have? It's time for news, traffic, and sports, and then we will continue this conversation about getting you a house, your California dream, on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Thank you for sharing a part of your Thursday with us here on the Black Information Network. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest. New York State Police are investigating after an envelope containing white powder was sent to the office of African-American Attorney General Letitia James. No one was injured after her office received the envelope, which has been sent to a lab to be tested. An envelope with white powder was also sent to the judge who oversaw Donald Trump's civil fraud case. An upcoming launch could light up the Florida sky if the weather cooperates. 3 NASA astronauts and a Russian cosmonaut are due to blast off in a Crew Dragon spacecraft called Endeavour. The capsule will be on a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket that's expected to launch just after midnight Friday. The Crew 8 mission calls for them to spend almost 6 months at the International Space Station. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
We've all felt the impact of rising food prices. For families in poverty, they're facing malnutrition and even death. You can feed a family for a month with your $50 donation to Compassion International. Just text the word radio to 97646.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
At age 39, LeBron James is showing us he can still take over a game and dominate. With the Lakers down by 21 to the Clippers last night early in the fourth quarter, LeBron led a comeback that resulted in a highly important 4-point win for the Lakers. LeBron scored 19 of his 34 points in the fourth quarter, 15 of those points coming on 5 3-pointers. Last night's game was the 5th time this season LeBron has scored 30 or more after turning 39 on December 30th. Former USC quarterback Caleb Williams, projected to be the #1 pick in the NFL draft, said he would be excited to play for the Chicago Bears if the Bears select him. Williams shot down rumors that he didn't want to play for the Bears. The Bears have the #1 pick, but they are entertaining trade offers for the pick and their quarterback Justin Fields. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
THE Health and Wellness Centers, celebrating 50 years since 1974 when it started as THE Clinic for Women. Then THE Clinic for Women became THE Health and Wellness Centers, providing quality care for everyone. Learn more at tohelpeveryone.org.
LADWP is proud to partner with KBLA to share with you how to start the new year without bill worries. We're here to help if you're behind on your bill or need help staying current. Sign up anytime online for Level Pay to set predictable monthly payments throughout the year, including for past due amounts. You can also check out the special extended pay arrangements of up to 48 months to help pay down your bill. If you're a senior or income qualified, you may be eligible for Easy Save to receive discounts and also qualify for free and discounted energy and water saving devices. You can get up to $15,000 for past due water and or sewer bills, and up to $3,000 for electric bills. But you gotta act fast. Funding is limited. You can reduce your past due bills and kick off the year right, because here at LADWP, we're here to help. Visit ladwp.com/cares today and find out more.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut. A diet lacking in nutrients can cause itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. DINOVITE, Dinovite.
It took a grand total of 2 weeks. The dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, indeed. Housing. If you are a California resident, and probably anywhere on the West Coast, you know this is a real serious issue, especially for Black people, because I feel like we tend to be on the wrong side, the losing side of change when it comes to the development and upgrade of our communities. That's one of the reasons why a lot of folks are suspicious about all these apartment buildings that are suddenly appearing everywhere in South LA, because a lot of us just think they are not for us. And Eric Johnson is with us. He's with the California Finance Agency. Shonta Clark, senior loan consultant, and she's with New American. And so let's go back a little bit. We're taking these workshops, the HUD-approved workshops that you mentioned. We want to get ourselves ready for home ownership. Is that what it is? It's financially ready. Is it also about like what to do once you get the house?
Yes. We want you to be financial ready and mentally. And this is important because anything can pop up. And I'm saying that because once you own the home, it could be, a roofing issue, plumbing, all of that. We just want to make sure you have the right knowledge and education of what to do next in case this happens. And then to never just give your home up. Some people go through a situation where they're, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And we talked about, someone has a relative who passed away, didn't know. And you didn't know that there's a gift of equity. They can sell the home to you. Different things that we as our Black community need to know, and communities, period. I get everyone call me, but the thing is, do you know what to do next?
Right. Well, and it sounds like you're doing the work of helping people understand that. I hope that people are hearing that, because I've seen it in my community. The elder passes, the house flips. Now I have a new neighbor that's not from the community, and it happens over and over and over. In California, we are not allowed to have any affirmative action. Thank you, Ward Connerly. And so we see, since that happened, Black folks getting pushed out more and more and more. But Eric Johnson, how do we find programs that, can advantage us, or that can, offer the kind of help that we need in the African American community in the post-affirmative action, the hater age that we're in right now?
Well, I want to make one small distinction between there's housing counselors, which are free, and they work with you one-on-one.
I see.
And then there's the home buyer education, which I think is what Dominique is talking about, these other courses that you need to take to get a CalHFA loan. I really recommend people, even if you think you're completely not ready for home buyer education, talk to a housing counselor, because they work with people for, literally sometimes a year to get their finances in order.
Where would we find that
person? I really
person?
recommend talking to housing. Say again?
Where would we find that person?
There's a list of housing counselors on our website, or you can just Google HUD-approved housing counselor California, and big, nice searchable list will come up and you can find one near you.
Okay, Eric
So
Johnson, before we move on, also, let's say I'm already in a house and I'm, concerned. Some of the scenarios that Shonta was laying out, the owner, the original owner can't afford it, or it passes away, or I've inherited it and I feel like I can't handle it, or I don't know what to do. Can those housing counselors work with a person like that, or is it only for someone that's never owned a home?
housing counselors work with literally every kind of housing issue.
Okay.
So if you're having a problem with your landlord and you're a renter, you can talk to a housing counselor. If you got a reverse mortgage that's not working out for you, you can talk to a housing counselor. If you have, if you're looking to buy your first home, if you have bought a first home and you may be looking at possible foreclosure or something like that, a housing counselor can help you out. They can help you out with literally every kind of housing counseling issue. So it's not just for home buyers.
Okay, that's important. Yeah, that's really important. So that's where you would start. You would start on your website with a list of housing counselors. Eric Johnson, Shonta also mentioned that there are other programs in the state besides this one new one, which is by lottery, the California Dream program, which is rolling out next month, right? Dream for All, a down payment assistance. Can you help us out with where we might find information about some of the other programs, supposing we don't get picked in the lottery?
Certainly. The best place is a knowledgeable loan officer just like Shonta. There are lots of people in California, despite what you may have heard, who are really concerned about first-time homebuyers and really want to help. We have loan officers who have worked with us for dozens of years, who know finance agency programs inside and out. And we tell people, if we direct you to a loan officer, it might be that a California housing finance agency program isn't the right one for you. And a good loan officer is going to find the program that is right for your situation, right for your finances, right for your plans. If you know that, say, maybe you're in the military and you know you're going to be deployed in 5 or 6 years, or you know you're going to have to move, they can work with you and figure out what's going to make the best sense for you. I think a lot of what people are scared about buying a home is a lot of the terminology. I remember when I bought my first home, I was like, what is escrow? What are all these, what is earnest money? And having somebody on your team who can explain that to you and get you over that knowledge hump is, I think, really, really important. I can't overemphasize the importance of a good team when you're buying a home. Somebody like Shonta, find yourself a really good realtist, good real estate agent, somebody who knows the territory and knows the housing market. Those are two people who will make your life so much better.
Yeah. Okay. And I love that you pointed out that people are struggling, even if they're in a situation where they might be facing foreclosure. They could talk to a counselor. Also, I would imagine when you're going to refinance, because that's where I got into trouble. I had a great realtor and I got into a good loan, and then we refinanced, and that's where we got into trouble. That's where we got the shaky loan. Luckily, we were able to escape that situation, actually with help from my friend Marie Deary over at Wealth Management Financial Advisors, and NHS, where I went and got the, education. So to your point, Shonta, starting with a class. I'm actually thinking maybe I should take that class, even though I've had my house for 20 plus years.
You're welcome. Take it back. Take it as many times as different situations pop up throughout your loan process. You got 30 years of doing that, paying that loan.
Right.
So if anything pops up and you say, hey, I think I want to sell this to my daughter, I'm going to take her to the class. And this is important because we're not pushing our sons, daughters, grandkids to buy a home. And, I've had multiple people passed away and they're like, I made sure that my daughter or son did own a home. But how about the ones who are not doing that?
Yeah, and most aren't. And in fact, Dr. Rosie Milligan always says we should do like other communities and make our kids live with us until they've saved up enough for a down payment. We're so quick to kick people out the house when they're just going to go and rent. But so what is it that you wish we would do more of in preparation? I mean, I think we hear about the down payment assistance and these kinds of things. Most of us goes in one ear out the other, or maybe we don't know how to access. But before we get to the class, what ought we be doing more of?
Well, look at your credit, and the class will also, once you go through them, they'll run your credit. They'll do a soft credit pool opposed to lenders running hard credit pools. That's part of doing these HUD-approved classes. They can run a soft credit pool, and that's
Which
better.
means it doesn't impact your credit score.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Instead of, 4 or 5 lenders running me and no one helped me. Okay, well then why did you go that route? So now,
And then your credit score just went down from having all those people run it, which means the next one may be even worse.
Exactly. So I tell people right now, because you're ready. Some people think, okay, I may be ready, I may not, but run your credit just to see, sign up for the HUD approved class, get the education. If you say, no, I'll be ready after my tax returns. Well, guess what? Tax season is here. So first thing first, you have to take the initiative and never say, oh, I'll wait till the rates drop. I'm sorry, when the rates drop, you got 30 people bidding for one home. So if you're ready and you feel, okay, let me just try it now. Don't wait till you think the rate, okay, I'll wait till the rates drop at 4. California's running out of space, right? So there's no way you're going to say, I'll be the only one getting that one house.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we're running out of space. We're running out of affordable space,
Okay,
right?
yeah, let's do it.
But yeah, I mean, but Shonta Clark, so what you're saying is, and this is really interesting, get in even with the interest rates high and refinance later because you'll be in the house and you'll have the equity. Is that kind of what you're saying?
That's better than getting in and trying to say, well, when they hit 5, you're going to have 30 bids. The ones out there looking, they'll tell you, well, we got our house right away. There was no 3 or 4 people I'm bidding against.
Because their interest rates are up. So even though it may be more expensive, you could always, when and if they ever go down, you could actually try to refinance. If not, you may be waiting forever.
Yes, and then this money, just like the city of LA, they're giving $160. You can use 15, 20 grand of that for buying down the rate. So my whole point is, if they're giving you money to put your down payment and you have some money, you can use your some money to buy down the rate. So I rather have people try than to not try, because otherwise you'll be the same situation you were last year and the year before. I say, oh my God, I should have got the house when it was $400,000.
It sounds it sounds like it sounds like you're saying that the credit is more important than even the savings or your income.
Well, I mean, the credit has to be at least 660 and higher for some of these programs. This particular Dream one is 680 and higher. But when you're getting down payment assistance, you're not most people are qualifying for a conventional loan. So then you have no mortgage insurance. When you're getting 20% or more down and your credit is in a great stable, 660 and higher FICO or 680, you don't have to get mortgage insurance.
Which adds to the cost of your monthly payment.
Yes.
Right. Eric, anything you want to add to that?
I think the importance of saving money on mortgage insurance is really high, because that can add another $200 a month to your payment, which is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And another thing I wanted to talk about, we didn't really talk about, it's the importance of a sustainable mortgage. Being able to know that you're confident you're going to be able to stay in your home with a mortgage you can afford. We saw in the Great Recession that some people were like, let's just get into a house and, we'll see what happens. But it's really important for us at the Housing Finance Agency that people are able to stay in their homes. We don't want to shove people into a house for the sake of people get into a house. What's important is people can, generational wealth is only generational if you still have it to pass on to the next generation.
Right.
That's true.
And that, I mean,
really,
that's
really important.
that's a big advertisement for your down payment for this California home buyers, program, the Dream for All, because if you started out with a 20% down payment, then that means your monthly payment is going to be more sustainable, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so definitely something to look into. How do we get into this lottery so that we can be considered for Dream for All, Eric Johnson?
Once again, it's talk with one of our approved lenders. There's some documentation that people need to get together, an ID, utility bill to prove that that's where you are. Going to need your parents' address and names, so to make sure that they do not own a home. So the best thing to do is get started now. Make a call today. Go on our website. If you're not necessarily in Shonta's area where she works, find somebody who is close. But working with somebody, with Shonta or one of her associates, it's going to be hard to go wrong. It may be that you don't qualify right now, but Shonta will know, okay, here's somebody who's ready to go and wants to work. Or it may be that you are in better shape than you thought, and you get your stuff together, and this window for the lottery is open from the 3rd of April to the 29th of April. So you still got a whole month to get things together, make sure your documentation is right, and work within a lender. There's still time to make some adjustments to your credit score, get your debt to income ratio and some other numbers that are really important to your application. There's still time to make some adjustments to that if you need to. So really make a call. That's the most important thing. If you take one thing out of listening to us today, it's pick up the phone and make a phone call.
Exactly.
Okay, we're going to give you some final thoughts and make sure you're on point and in line or ready to get in line for some of these great opportunities for first-time home buyers, for down payment assistance, and just to be ready to get a shot. That's really the thing. 800-920-1580. If you've got a question, it's a perfect time to call. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
It's never been faster or easier to be a voter. Look for your vote by mail ballot in the mail. Fill it in and drop it off at a mailbox on your way to work, on your daily walk, or when dropping the kids off at school. Save time and vote early. Make a plan to vote at plan.lavote.gov. That's plan.lavote.gov. Brought to you by the Los Angeles County Registrar.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. Recently, the Washington Post ran a major story which in sum reveals that racial discrimination in jury selection persists in America. Most often, the practice occurs through a legal tactic called peremptory challenge, which allows an attorney to strike a potential juror without having to state a reason. In the 1986 Batson Doctrine, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the use of peremptory challenges to exclude potential jurors solely based on their race violates the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. By the way, the late great Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall despised peremptory challenges. New data in the Washington Post story underscores that nearly 40 years after the Batson decision, the problem remains widespread. One study in the Deep South found that black jurors are being challenged and dismissed at double and triple the rates of other prospective jurors. Bottom line, it's racist, it's wrong, and it's pervasive, even as research shows that racially diverse juries spend more time deliberating, make fewer errors, and can result in fairer trials. One of the arguments in the Ninth Circuit appeal, brought by former LA City Councilman Mark Ridley Thomas, is about violation of that Batson Doctrine. In its case against MRT, the U.S. Attorney's Office struck black women from the jury pool based on demeanor and employment status, a clear violation of the law. A long list of high-profile black law professors, historians, and justice centers have now filed amicus briefs in support of MRT's position. But the irony of a black elected official who for more than 3 decades represented the best interests of his black constituents, having black women voters struck from his jury pool is repugnant and morally wrong. So much for being judged by a jury of your peers. MRT's legal team argues correctly in its filing that given well-established law and legal principles set forth by the Supreme Court, Ninth Circuit, and state courts and legislatures, the Ninth Circuit should likewise reaffirm and clearly state that applying facially neutral justifications in discriminatory ways to target black women and other protected groups presumptively violates Batson. I couldn't agree more. For KBLA Talk 1580, I'm Tavis Smiley. We welcome your comments.
Do you support public education? More than 38,000 educators at United Teachers Los Angeles do too. Together, we have fought for a better public education for our students and communities, and having you on our side has been essential in our fight for better public schools. Together, we will continue to work for public schools with green spaces, more mental health staff, smaller class sizes at every grade level, and a higher investment in the Black Student Achievement Plan. We are UTLA, and you make us stronger.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio, KBLA Talk 1580.
And we're talking with Eric Johnson, California Finance Agency. Yep, you learn new things on this show every day. I didn't even know that was a thing, but now we know. They are at calhfa.ca.gov. You can get a list of housing counselors there and find out about their down payment assistance program, which is starting in April, right, Eric?
Kick off on April 3rd.
April 3rd. And it's April 3rd till when?
Till the 29th. So you've got almost a whole month to get your applications in.
Tax month. Think about your future. That way you're not. Okay, we got folks that, and we're also talking with Shonta Clark. She is a senior loan consultant, and she is at New American Funding. We got a couple people popping up here that have questions for you. I'm going to try to squeeze those in before we run out of time. So I'll ask you really quick, Shonta Clark. Mm-hmm. How do we know the difference between a shady loan officer and someone legit?
Well, I mean, a legit loan officer is going to tell you the truth or tell you the best of their knowledge, but you can always double check with another loan officer. We usually know each other. So like the city of LA have a list of loan officers. We know each other.
Okay, that's a great place to start. We're going to go to Gloria calling from LA. Hi, Gloria. If you could give the short version, it would be much appreciated.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you guys for the information. Is there a number I could call to find out, to get more information?
Yeah, you can call. We can call you, right, Shonta?
Yeah.
310-409-2149. That's the Inglewood branch of the New American Funding Office. 310-409-2149. It's a good place to start. Anything else, Gloria?
That's it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you too. Great point you were making too when we were off the air is that folks inherit houses or they get into situations and we're losing our homes. Black people, we're losing our home. Yes. That's losing generational wealth. And it sounds like sometimes there's solutions that we don't even know about.
Yes.
I'm not a fan of the reverse mortgage. I'm just going to say that. I know a lot of people end up losing their homes through reverse mortgages. But there's other means of holding on to a home.
Yes, there's gift of equity. People didn't know it's a gift of equity from family member to family member. And that's the best way to try to save that home. And you don't have to just be one. It could be 2-3 buyers buying that home back or keeping that home in the family.
Not the collective. The thing that we're supposed to be, as people of African descent, we're supposed to have a collective mindset. But I think a lot of times we are caught up in the American dream, the illusion part of the American dream, which is that it has to be all me, all about me, and what I can do on my own. I love that. Eric Johnson, I know you came on here and you had a lot that you wanted to share. What's one thing you want to make sure we get before we close today?
The most important thing is do not lose hope. It is still possible to buy a home in California. So pick up the phone, make a call. It can still happen.
I love that. Okay, let's go to Tom from Inglewood. Yeah, it might seem like a unicorn, but it's really a horse. Hi, Tom.
Hello, Dupree. Wonderful programs. One thing that pushed our family in, let me see, how can I say this? Mom and Dad got divorced, and then they don't want any of the kids living in the house because it's got too much memories. And so we get pushed out of the housing market. So my whole life, I just stayed mobile. Is there any loan programs for somebody who wants to live on the road?
Well, Good question. I don't have one, but we can find out from that home buyer education which lender does those particular loans for mobile homes. I know there's some that's on a foundation that we do, but as for one that's rolling on the, I'm not sure. I mean, there are lenders that do boat loans, but we'll get that contact to you and see who's out there that's doing the boat or mobile homes that you can roll on.
Does that work for you, Tom?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds like maybe he should call you also.
Yeah.
310-409-2149, 310-409-2149, and happy trails, Tom.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I guess that's one way not to get pushed out of your neighborhood. Just, yeah. We got about a minute and a half here. You want to take 45 seconds, and we'll leave 45 for Eric?
Yes. Love people, but understand we only live once. And you're here. Your dream is to at least own a home before you leave and to leave something to your children, your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews. Try for a home. Please try for a home, a condo, something to leave for someone else to survive.
Yeah. Eric Johnson?
I can't say it better than that. This is an opportunity to leave a legacy. And your legacy can be a place for your kids and your grandkids to have a roof over the head, picture grandma on their piano. I mean, who could ask for more than that? This is your opportunity.
Yeah, I was very, very scared and ignorant when I bought my home, but I got to say it's the best financial decision I made in my life. And I am not, a wise woman when it comes to finance, even though I learn I want to do what I want to do. The house is the best decision I made. And, hey, it might need a coat of paint, but ain't nobody evicting me, okay? So there's a lot to be said for that. And I know I can guarantee affordable housing for my child and his children and generations to come. And I think that really does mean something. Yes. Shonta Clark and Eric Johnson, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting us, Dominique.
All right, it's
Thanks,
back
Dominique.
to the election. When we come forward, let's meet some folks that want to be judges. And we are going to be talking with Congresswoman Katie Porter and more. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Thank you for sharing a part of your Thursday with us here on the Black Information Network. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest. New York State Police are investigating after an envelope containing white powder was sent to the office of African-American Attorney General Letitia James. No one was injured after her office received the envelope, which has been sent to a lab to be tested. An envelope with white powder was also sent to the judge who oversaw Donald Trump's civil fraud case. An upcoming launch could light up the Florida sky. That's the latest. I'm Mike Moore.